So I wanted to talk a little bit about blackness, the void, the darkness. Most people would think of it as a full blown lack, as a complete lack of visible light, which isn't incorrect. But the side of it that seems to escape a lot of people is that the blackness of space, for instance, is just the lack of 7 colors of light. It's made up of all of the energy waves, all the electromagnetic waves, like infrared, gamma radiation, x-rays, all that fun shit. It's all there just because we can't perceive it, so we only see black. But the void is not nothingness per se. It's everything. The void, the entirety of the universe, is everything, but it's also nothing because it can't be one thing. Right? That makes sense, I'm sure it has to. So, for my meditations, at least, one of my little tricks that I heard about back in the day is diving into a black point. And I kind of struggled with that for a while, to be honest, until I had this realization about the infinite well of energy of blackness. This is also kind of pointed out with how science says that colors are represented in our world. That, like, a black object, for instance, is absorbing all of the light around it, ergo it has no color that it reflects. But they also use the same kind of explanation to say that, like, a red thing is red because it's absorbing all of the blue and yellow light and reflecting the red. I don't know how much I give that, to be honest, how much stock I put in that idea. It seems more likely that a red thing is red because it is absorbing and reciprocating the red light, you know? At least I think that's probably how ancient alchemists looked at it. It's probably a little bit closer to how they would have viewed things anyways. So you dive into the deep black point and you just make it bigger and bigger, and you dive in deeper and deeper and focus in on the blackness and the blackness and the nothingness and the nothingness, basically washing your energy out with the static of all the energy to help you achieve a state of non-ness. Okay? It's also important because one time during my void work, I was meditating, and it was a chakra meditation. So I had moved up and down through my chakra networks. I was vibrating them and resonating their energy and building it up, drawing it in and expressing it out, pulling it from out and pulling it from in. And I create a sheath with the earth's energy that goes up and around me and branches up into the sky like a tree, I guess, and focus on pure light radiating down, which means it has to be white because it has to contain those all elements, including the visible light, and just sort of like washing through the energy centers. Okay, this is not that uncommon. I know a lot of people probably meditate in that way. But this time, after I finished that cleansing and I was just focusing on all the energy and the different vortexes and how it's coming into me and going out of me, and I decided to open a void in the stream of energy right at my heart chakra. And I focused on my toroidal field, which you just have to look it up. My toroidal field, I focused on the center point where all of it actually connects. I focused on that opening up. And it was the weirdest, most insane surge of energy and not energy that I've ever experienced, to be honest. And from that moment onward, I realized, I finally learned at least how to open a point of reality up, how to go into it appropriately in a fourth dimensional way. It seemed like it clicked. It seemed like it made sense at that time. It still does, to be honest. But I wanted to put this out there, I guess, to let people know that, you know, as you look into shadow work, as you try to work on the darker aspects of yourself and your reality around you, as you grow from those things, part of that is learning how to deal with the void and learning how to deal with the totality of emptiness and the overbearing gravity of everything, right? So do what you can. Set those voids, those black holes up as you go. I'm going to figure out how to actually use this more practically in my energy work, but I needed to get it out there so I can review this at a later time. Peace.